Hello, everybody, and welcome to the top 5 new comics for February 19th of 2025. I'm, as always, Chris, and we got a really cool slate this week. So let's hop in, starting with Ultimate Wolverine, number 2. This is written by Chris Condon with art by Alessandro Cappuccio, colors by Bryan Valenza, and letters by Cory Petit. I'm not going to go on about the Ultimate Universe, how much I love it. You all know this. If you've watched these videos, you know what I feel about it. Ultimate Wolverine was one that I thought was a really cool mix of... Basically, it was mashing two characters together and seeing what it came out to be. And that first issue was really highlighting this, showing how these two origins mix, the Winter Soldier and Wolverine, to be specific, and how this world created a atmosphere for this to happen, and who Logan was prior to it a little bit. The fact that while being brainwashed by the Red Room, he was also getting his adamantium skeleton and all these things. Really cool first issue. And then, I guess, spoilers for issue 1, but they also needed you to hate him a little bit. And what better way than to have him kill a fan favorite X-Men who even non-X-Men fans like myself like this character in Nightcrawler. And then just how they portrayed Nightcrawler in this universe and all these things. So I thought it was a really good starting point. They had to set up how he got to this point, how he became the Winter Soldier, all these things. So I respect that to do an origin issue. I'm more excited for this issue, though, because now we've got the setup of how this Wolverine came to be, who he is in this universe. We get a glimpse into how far the brainwash is, and now we get to see, moving forward, what's going on. And, you know, just all these things going on with the mutants in this world. There's a liberation group running around. We obviously got the Ultimates and what they're doing. There's a ton of things going on. So I thought it was a really good first issue. I'm really excited to see what we have moving forward with it. And it's going to be a fun year of Ultimate Wolverine over at Marvel. After that, I've got Thunderbolts, Doomstrike number 1. This is written by Jackson Lanzing and Collin Kelly with art by Tommaso Bianchi, colors by Yen Nitro, and letters by Joe Sabino. So I know. 5-issue tie-in series for a big event book. How is that in top 5? Well, there's multiple reasons why it's on top 5. I've often believed I'm not a guy who buys every tie-in book. I buy the tie-in books that seem interesting to me. And there's a couple things going on with this one. One is Thunderbolts. Like, I love the Thunderbolts. I love the premise of it, and this kind of new iteration that we've been going with these past 5 or so years with Bucky at the helm of the team has been very interesting. You add on top of that you've got a great creative team here. I mean, we have the Hive Mind, Lanzing and Kelly writing, and they have not disappointed in my eyes and stuff that I've read. And then you add on that these two guys, throughout their tenure at Marvel, through different books, from their Captain America run to the Winter Soldier one-shot to the Thunderbolts book and a few others in between, have been telling this through-line story with Bucky and not necessarily reimagining the character, but really bringing stakes back to his past actions and like how a man deals with these things and moves forward with them. And it's really deep, great stuff that they're doing with this character, a character who really went from this brainwashed super assassin for the Soviets to just, 2 years later being Captain America with no real consequence. And I love you, Brubaker, but we saw him just have this shift and never really saw him answer for what he did during that time. For the most part, there's been runs here and there, but I think Lanzing and Kelly have really done a great job bringing that aspect to this character. And then you look at the rest of the team that we have here. I mean, Black Widow's always fun as a side character. Songbird, we'll see how she fits in. U.S. Agent's always great to have around and then Sharon Carter. And I'm sure more will show up along the way. Yeah, it ties into a big event book, but I just think we have a good creative team here who is going to do a really great thing here. And sometimes side books can be better, more interesting than the main book. That happens. So really excited about Thunderbolts Doomstrike. And then after that, I have Space Ghost number 10. This is written by David Pepose with art by Jonathan Lowe and letters by Taylor Esposito. I said it once, I said it a million times at this point. Space Ghost is one of my, if not my favorite book on the market right now. It's unbelievable how great this book has been. David just on the top of his game across the board on this. And we got a really cool story arc for the last couple of issues about this big bad coming in, the one that connects the Space Ghost past in a way that really creates him as a hero or a vigilante. And he had to come to a big conclusion here along with his new sidekicks that will shape who Space Ghost is moving forward. And it's, does he kill or not? The whole Batman dilemma, do you kill Joker or not? And I thought they handled it really well. We're going to deal with some ramifications from what happened in that issue in this one. And just across the board, guys, this art in this book, like I've said probably 9 times already, I'll say it a 10th, is so good. It's unbelievable that a Space Ghost book has this great of an art team on it. It's unbelievable that it's treated so well by David or any writer that it's one of my favorite books out there. This is one of the best books on the market. And I can't sing its praises enough. Dynamite has tapped into something here with these Hanna-Barbera books. I'm not getting all of them, but the ones I have been getting, like the Johnny Quest book and this one, have been really good. And there's a few I'm looking forward to as well, which gets us into our next book, which might be the first time that Dynamite's been on my top 5 twice in the same week. And that book is The Herkuloids number 1. This is written by Tom Sniegoski with art by Craig Rousseau. I will fully admit I don't have huge nostalgia for the Herkuloids like I did Space Ghost, but it is this property that's sat out there that when it comes to like comics or something, I check out here and there because I think it's a cool idea. It is this weird, almost He-Man-esque property, at least from my point of view, that interests me to no end. We've got the big muscle-bound hero. We've got the magic and the sorcery and this fantasy aspect with also a sci-fi flow to it, being that it's on another planet and there could be some other things going on there. And then we got these cool like little shape-shifting blob things that run around. There's a Tyrannosaurus Rex. The cover's phenomenal. Like, I couldn't imagine a more selling cover than the one that they're doing for this first issue. Across the board, this just seems like it's going to be a cool, fun book. And I hope that they pull off what they're saying here, which is they're really talking a lot about how good Space Ghost is in selling Herkuloids. So now you do have a bar that you've set for yourself. But I think we got some cool creators here. We've got a really cool IP. And Dynamite seems to want to treat these books with respect and really aim them for a audience that's more mature that may have grown up on these, or at least is tangentially aware, like myself, of them. So whenever they put out a new Hanna-Barbera book, I'm going to check it out at this point, for the most part. I mean, Wacky Racers might be a step too far for me, but they're doing such cool things with it, and I'm just really excited to get my hands on Herkuloids this week. This will probably be my pick off the top of the pile book and read right away. Let's go ahead and end with Godzilla Heist number 1. This is written by Van Jensen with art by Kelsey Ramsey. IDW has been doing a lot of Godzillas. We talked a lot about it on the podcast I do every week and just other outlets where I'm talking about comics, where they're really been doing a lot of cool stuff with Godzilla for a while now, behind the scenes, gaining a good audience, but never really breaking a mainstream success, at least in comic sense. And now they're going to try to do like this big Godzilla universe while still doing these side stories that may or may not connect to what the Godzilla ongoing universe is going to be. This one, I'm not sure where it falls in that, but I just think the concept is such a cool idea, because while it's a Godzilla book, it's also not a Godzilla book. So the whole premise here is, what if you could predict when Godzilla is going to attack and when this whole destruction is going to go down? In that moment, when you figure that out, could you plan the perfect heist while everybody else is distracted by this giant kaiju ripping through the city? And what would that look like? And that's what this book is aiming to do. Like, they're going to go for high-profile, big heists. Meanwhile, Godzilla is going to be tearing across the city, just destroying things with people going after him. I think it's a cool concept. I think the art looks fun. IDW, like I said, have been putting out some really cool Godzilla books that I've been digging, so why not another? And I wanted to get this one out there because I think, like I said, IDW been building this really cool fan base behind Godzilla with these comics. And it's about time more people saw them and got their hands on them and checked them out, because they're not all just two big kaiju fighting for 22 pages. Some of them have really cool side stories going on that just happen to involve Godzilla. And I think this is one that promises to be something interesting, fun, and good. And we'll see what it is. So everybody, that was my top 5 for this week. I hope you all enjoyed. If you want to follow me further, there's that podcast I mentioned during the video, the Fortress Comic News podcast. You can check that out, where every week we're talking to a new comic creator. We're talking about the comic news. We're doing fun stuff over there, just having a good time. So if you're a podcast person, you can get on podcatcher of your choice. If you're a YouTube person, we upload the video portion of it in 2 separate sections, as the podcast section with me and my co-host Mike, and also the interviews as their own video. And then you have my Substack, which is chriscomicscorner.substack.com, in which we are currently reading through Batman Hush in preparation for Hush 2. So go check that out. It's a lot of fun. And I also spotlight some crowdfunding comics that you should be checking out. So all good there and all free for you to check out. And if you want to support this video, like the video, comment down below, subscribe to the channel so you make sure you get every video I put out on this channel, and hit that bell notification button so that you know when they come out, which you should know. It's Monday mornings. So everybody, thank you so much for watching this week, and I'll see y'all here next week.